welcome to the podcast. We all have stuff.
Hi guys, welcome.
I'm Alessia.
Hi, I'm Gabby.
And we wanted to make this podcast because of the title, We All Have Stuff.
Right.
Which, Gabby, why would you say we wanted to do this?
I think because in today's world, we just have like so many important things we have going on all the time. And we share a lot of experiences that maybe we don't all handle the best way. Yeah. And, I think our backgrounds have kind of given us some unique insight about the things that we can kind of help people troubleshoot and the things that we deal with too and talk about.
Yeah, I think mostly me and Gabby wanted to do this because we realized that everybody has stuff going on that a lot of us aren't normalizing talking about.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have a mental health clinic and I am a licensed mental health counselor. Mm-hmm. And me and Gabby met in grad school.
Right.
So we've both been on this psych mental health, but also realizing a lot with mental health is it's not just mental health, it's being humans and everyday life stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I think a big part of us making content relatable is that we can talk about it in a way that makes it like real for people, right? And it's not just in this professional tone that I think a lot of social media and like content creators just put out, where you have like, just this big serious thing all the time where, it's okay to be real and raw and have emotion and have difficult stuff go on in your life, but it doesn't mean that like this chapter is over.
Yeah.
Right.
So we kind of want to take the time on this podcast to break a lot of different weird but cool and exciting and hard topics down that we all, like we said, are relating to day to day. And we also want to give maybe tools, some tricks, but also just a space that we can talk this stuff out with each other. And hopefully it's mostly going to be related to all of you who are listening. Yeah. And that's pretty much the point of all of this. So.
Right. Yeah, agree. So, Alessia, do you want to tell us a little bit about like the type of therapy that you do or your credentials or the type of stuff that you see on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I do an emotional-based therapy. I'm trained in a lot of different things, but that's the majority of what I do. I also expanded my business, so I have other therapists that work in different ways, but I think the main thing I'm realizing in my work in general is just everybody has stuff, that's why this is the title. And it's just normal, everyday people just wanting space to be heard, but also understand themselves, get tools, know why they're reacting, know what's holding them back from stuff, what's causing a diverse and a lot of different issues in their lives. And there's so many different topics. So I think when me and you always talk, it's like we have boundaries, we have self-esteem stuff, we have why can I not communicate? Like, what do I even know about communication in general? Confidence in general, family dynamics, relationship dynamics, maneuvering through life, not knowing what to do, not knowing decision making. There's just so many things that everybody just needs to be talking about in my perspective, that a lot of times we feel like we're the only person, or that we have to go to therapy to figure it all out, which therapy is great, but I also am finding a lot of times just finding other people talking about it and talking it out is super beneficial as well.
Yeah, so. I agree. I think I like what you said about, kind of finding community in talking about your issues, because I think it's really easy to feel like lonely and isolated. And, there's like high expectations in society for just like putting on a brave face or just like being in this like kind of victimhood of these hard things that you go through, and it doesn't have to be like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
So why don't you tell us about your background, since we're both on this path, and we don't want to come off as super, as much as we're both in mental health backgrounds, me and you both talked about how we don't want it to be, it's not all about mental health, it's about human health, I would say, like just a general mindset of keeping people stuck. So we both have the backgrounds in that, but that's not what we want to make this all about. So, but we do want to get some more background, and so Gabby, just tell us more, because I know you've done a lot of research and stuff that I am not educated in. So
I mean, professionally, I have a PhD in psychology. So I have done a lot of research. I've done a lot of clinical work, as have you. And my populations have been pretty clinical. You know, I've worked in behavioral health, I've worked in mental health, I've worked interdisciplinaries, like in hospitals. But again, like a lot of the themes that you see are the same. You know, stressors, coping mechanisms, not having ample support. Right. You know, and now kind of being out of the professional workspace for some time in a different role, I can see how role changes in someone's life could impact their relationships and their ability to function and self-confidence and like what is my self-image? How do I feel about myself? So, you know, like there's been so many changes, I feel, especially since, you know, like the pandemic and everything. So many people have struggled just like finding their identity, right? You know, and I mean, I myself transitioned out of a long academic career to staying home in like a totally different role. So, you know, I think it's
that role is a parent.
Yeah, and that role is largely of a parent
and a wife.
Yeah, and you know, just like that, how that changes how you see yourself from this like very driven, motivated, deadline oriented lifestyle to now like it's unpredictable and you have to learn new skills that no one has ever taught you, you know? So
and deal with hard emotions that you don't like to feel all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, I think like it's very interesting to see from both perspectives, like as a person who like has gone through a lot of self change and questioning, from having that like I was the person who was telling people what to do and like how to change their life. So yeah, I think that like we both have unique perspectives about that, and I think, you know, the things that we see are just like normal. Yeah. You know, like it's not always this like clinical, sterile experience that people think that they have in this like isolated bubble, right? Yeah.
I like when you said like roles, because that's what we said earlier, of your role changes in life, right? And so you're stuck in this role, but then identity stuff comes up because you're not knowing what role you're in, and people not being conscious of what is that role and what does it look like in your own life. And there's so many dynamics that we want to go into when it comes to like parenting roles, partnership roles, career focused roles, boss roles, intimacy roles. You could do a role for everything. Yeah. And just even naming roles has so many different, like we said, boundaries, self-esteem, you know, identity stuff, struggles within each of those roles that are just so important to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really think that like we are hoping that what people who listen and like take part in this journey with us will be able to relate to a lot of the content that we're talking about and not feel judged or not feel so alone or isolated. And, you know, it's like stuff that even professionals go through.
We all have stuff. I tell my clients that is like the line I tell my clients too, because being a therapist, people are like, your life must be great. And I'm like, well,
if you knew, right?
Well, we all have stuff. So as much as I have all the tools, that doesn't mean everything's all good and dandy and perfect because you have all these tools. Yeah. They're tools because you're practicing it and you become more aware, but that doesn't make it easy. Yeah. So we all have stuff. So
stick around for the stuff.
Yeah. So we hope you guys stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of cool episodes, a lot of different topics, a lot of different roles, and we're going to go into the depths of a variety of different things about that. So
so stick around. We hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we hope you keep listening, and we will bring some great information your way.
Bye.
See ya. All right, cut.
Okay.
That went well. That was easy.
That wasn't bad.